Welcome back, everybody. I would normally announce to you that we're jumping into another round, but we're actually resuming round 6, which is where we inconveniently had to be evacuated from the building, but we're back.
And everyone's okay.
Everyone's fine.
Okay as far as we know, at least.
And the cards are
all the
okay.
UniVersus players are okay.
Oh, true. Yeah.
We don't know about the family reunion or the basketball tournament or the swimming tournament or the cowboy tournament or the horse riding tournament. There's a lot of stuff happening.
The horse racing tournament.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We have our own horse race obviously happening. The good news, based off of what we were doing today, is we were able to pause our footage where we were at, and we can immediately resume where we were. And life totals are 22-15 in Game 2. Remember, we have Aiden, who has turned into Hanj Zoe for Game 2, normally being Zeke from Set 2 of Attack on Titan. And we are going into an attack turn from River Cook. With no face-up foundations, we flipped over our last one to draw a card, but this is going to get plus kind of threatening at a higher turn with 4 horn counters going into this.
Yeah, this is pretty much the only downside to having face downs. Before the little pause, we were talking about how the power of this deck really doesn't come from the stage. It really comes from the character and the cards that you discard to pay the cost, and the attacks themselves, like Lethal Slash, like Electric Moth, that allow you to +1 in hand size. But Battle Orderlies also allows you to +1 in hand size, but it does need face-up foundations. So for the rest of this turn, unless something wacky happens, we're not going to be able to activate the draw 1 on Battle Order Release. However, it will be an 8 damage 4 difficulty move
every time,
which is good enough in my book.
Absolutely. Now, we also went ahead and blocked this one on the side of Aiden. We do still have a Frantic Rescue that we have access to as long as we take damage from an unblocked move. And, I mean, if you're going to do it to any move, why not be the 4 base damage move that's not going to really get any extra help unless something like a Mikasa's Admission gets some extra damage pump onto it? I was looking to see if we had any extra damage reduction on it as well, but currently it's looking like a 3 high for 2 as of now, and this is the one it looks like we're going to go ahead and eat the 2, going down to 13 for Aiden, but +1 difficulty on all the rest of River's moves. Boom, immediately plays a Lethal Slash on a 6, and we check a 3.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. Do you commit the rest of your stage? Which, I mean, again, we talked about how good this card is in this deck. It means we can use Pony to clear out the Electric Moth, and then we can also let the Lethal Slash leave, but we're going to let it fail. We're going to take our momentum and run, and we have 4 horn counters, which isn't bad, but our aggression is over.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you can certainly speak up the appeal of not always going full gas, no brakes, but when your stage is totally blank, I have to feel like you have a better shot of randomly hitting something off of your 2 card draws that you're going to get from the Lethal Slash, from the Pony, and, check better throughout the rest of the turn than we are going to be potentially trying to defend with 3 blank foundations. And we already see the Falling Titans come down, and there's a lot of iterations of this. We have the Jaeger's followers to essentially guarantee our checks, and we get to commit Jaeger's followers to pass those checks. So I feel like this one's over, and we're going to be seeing a Game 3 sooner than later, and it's really curious. I'm very curious what River could have done had they decided to pass that check and try to power through.
That's kind of what I'm thinking as well, because just like you said, we've now just used our committed Jaeger's follower to get this back because we committed the Jaeger's follower to pass the check. Hanj says that we get an extra 2 speed, and as long as we keep rolling 5s here, we tap 1 back up sideways, we pass the check, make this a little harder for River to block, and boom, we keep going, and we keep... I mean, this is essentially already on the board. We're starting to use them to look and peek at the top card of our deck. But remember, this is a low attack count deck. It's very unlikely already that we're going to check well. So much so that the 4 is not good enough to us.
Right. Interesting enough, but I mean, it makes sense from where I'm sitting. You might as well try to check well. We're going to see some Pony enhance happening.
Yeah, we're going to get a bunch more counters. We're up to 7 horn counters, which means we're allowed to use those as much as we want defensively, minus speed, zone changes for perfect blocking, or even clearing out our blocks defensively.
Yeah, but 1 more block, and then it's going to be 2 cards in the card pool, and I got to imagine that that's the only one we're going to get left. We're only going to have 1 more block left, and that's it. Other than that, they're going to be too fast, especially if we are committing backups to pass this check. And unfortunately, we lost the gamble. We checked poorly after discarding the 4 off the top, but it's still looking like enough because you only have to connect with 2 more. No, maybe 3 more.
There's 7 base, right? 6.
Falling Titans is 6 base damage.
6 base, yeah. We need 3 more
you
of
get
these.
7 speed.
Also assuming that River doesn't interact with us at all on any one of these. And so it is getting a little tighter, especially as we are now having to turn more of these Jaeger's followers sideways to guarantee this check. We don't want this to happen again. So we might actually 1, 2, 3, 4. If we check perfectly, we are allowed to play this 4 more times.
Yeah, and don't forget, we can commit Hanj to pass the check as well.
Absolutely.
Hanj doesn't need to be ready to grant the speed bonus. It is a continuous effect. In fact, Hanj is one of the few characters with 0 playable abilities.
Absolutely. Which means they can't be canceled, typically. Alrighty, so the question is, does River decide to invest into getting more horn counters, but it means you are discarding cards from your hand? Do we have a good block for this? Do we just not care as much? Do you wait until it threatens lethal? There's not really a correct answer here because against something like Falling Titans, you never know when your opponent is going to decide to stop pulling the trigger, and you could have done something better to save more resources or save that card in your hand to block or to not block with and use it offensively if it's an attack card. Or they could not only use the Falling Titans, pick it back up, and then play a different move. You don't have to play the Falling Titans again.
I was just about to say, Beast Titans Rock Barrage to build in a 9 Titans is almost a much it's almost a much better checkmate than it would be to try to keep playing the Falling Titans. And we see here we're debating on whether or not we need the enhancer, the speed pump. It looks like we're going to go for the speed from Hanji to pass the check, but that means that we've only got 1 resource left. We have to check well on the next Falling Titans if that is the card that we choose to play. But if this Falling Titans deals damage, again, a Rock Barrage would just be a better choice, I have to feel, provided there's a 9 Titans in the discard pile.
Yeah, I think it kind of really depends, right? Because you're saying, you get it up to 6. No, it's on play. So you can't. No, it's first enhance, double its speed, put it up to 6.
And you would get to commit the 1 rival foundation from having backups in your
But Pony does still say -2 speed. It'd be a 4 speed. We can clear the block out. Pony would still be readied. It's pretty
that's
tough.
better than the 5 speed Falling Titans, though.
You're not wrong. It's a tough
It's not
choice
looking
regardless.
good. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's just a Rock Barrage might be the better choice here.
And as we're even seeing another Pony enhance to get even more horn counters, I think River says, I'm going to let you play the risk. You're the one that has to make the check, and then I'll start playing my defense. So yeah, we keep looking at it. Oh, I do see the other attack. It could be the Political Strife, which is a 4 diff.
All right, we've turned it into a mid. We have reduced the speed. We are, in fact, going to block with a Lethal Slash.
Keeping us at 10.
On a 7. Response remove, add it back to hand. What's the follow-up? Are we just going to try and pass another Falling Titans?
On a 6. It checks a
a
6.
6?
We did.
Where was that?
What comes around goes around.
Where was that? Like 2 checks ago.
Yeah, wait, we're over here thinking, the 3 checks. We didn't think about the other side of the coin.
Right.
He checked the 6s raw off the top.
And technically a better time to check the 6 when the rival has cards in their card pool, because checking the 6 means we can't commit a
Political
backup
Strife on a
for bonus
5.
speed.
Another 6 off the top.
Another 6.
Didn't even need it as Pony is at 4, completely tapped out. It's going to get an extra +2 damage.
This is a crazy way to win a game,
Do we have the block, though? This is not a very fast move, but we do have Enhanced Commit. We can give it +2 speed because it works both ways.
And the worst part is we did the math incorrectly there. We had a referee jury in our hand as Pony, but we blocked our way down to 4 health.
Wow.
If we could have partialed somewhere, if we could have saved 1 damage anywhere, we could have played around the Political Strife blitz and put it down to 4.
Barely squeaking by, getting that game 2 win and taking us to match point on game 3 here. And I've got to ask the question.
If we had referee juried earlier, committing a rival foundation could have made a difference.
Yes.
So we did have one at the end, But would it have made our rival think twice? Would it have made Aiden think twice about continuing to try and power through the 3 checks?
Yeah, I have no idea. And so I was going to ask you, as they're kind of shuffling up and such, do you stay as Hanj?
That is the question on everyone's mind. I think you do. You won a game as Hanj. I think Hanj is a better character. I think it's better for this matchup.
Brian caught me taking a drink. It's okay. You're right. That's what I think. And I think based off of what we saw there, Aiden does plan on staying as Hanj. It keeps the 9 Titans in our stage instead of adding anything to our hand to start the game off with. And then to top it off, I think having that DR right off the bat is probably the smarter play. And it looks like that's going to be the case. We're going to be able to go... Wait.
It looks like we missed the pony's opening turn.
We went to play...
A 3 diff, and we checked it 2, it looks like.
Why? What's the 3 diff?
Would it be sacrifice for the cause?
It's an action, I think. Brian's going to roll us back, I think. Oh, never mind. We got to see what happened. Pony went first and failed their first foundation. I got to know what happened, Brian. You got to roll back the tape. All right, here it is. Going first on a 2. Okay, that one passes. On a 3, checks the 2. I guess we're just hiding the 1 foundation. I didn't see it.
It's literally under their hand.
It's under River's hand. Build 1, fail. Going first. And that might be a way that staying as Hanj might be even eating better because it's as if you went first again as Hanj.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive. We call them non-games, right? They're almost the kind of thing that you don't even practice and play test. It's I do a little coaching on the Patreon. I have like very specific drills for how to get out of these situations. But when it comes to normal playtest games, these are not games that we bother with. These are not the games that we try to play out of practical situations because once you're in this position, Barrett, all you have is theory. Once you're in the position where your rival got to basically skip your first turn, you've got 1 resource, which is huge. It's way different than no resources.
Yeah.
Character to commit and 1 foundation to commit, very different than having nothing to commit. But when you're in these situations, you have to buckle down. You have to look at the premium real estate in your hand, and you have to recognize that building the most foundations you can isn't the most important thing to do. The most important thing to do at this point is to value your health total. And luckily for us, Aiden is playing a 12 attack deck, and so it's not the most difficult thing in the world when our rival is going to gift us another build turn. This is a cataclysmically low amount of punishment from Aiden, and River is lucky. I'll say lucky that we are playing such a slower combo-y style deck, because this could have been absolutely catastrophic in almost any other matchup. A 7-hander that builds 1 foundation that does not much on defense would have spelled automatic doom on turn 2.
I agree with you, and I think even you have to you have to keep adapting to what your opponent is doing, not just leveraging the resources that you do have, like you said, the life total, but the fact that Aiden did build foundations afterwards, but it was only 1 and 3 backups on their first turn. Meaning, Aiden took the second turn of theirs to build 3 more foundations to help stabilize their own stage. That is an opportunity where River can basically pretend that you just went second this game.
Right.
We got away with murder. We checked it too, and it's just as if we're playing the last game again. Correct. Now we need to just break serve. Because what we didn't have to do is we won our game going first. We lost our game going second. You now have to win your game going second.
Right. Basically, yeah. This is... And this is tough because, when you go first, you definitely expect to be more in the driver's seat. But this really just turned out pretty even, all things considered, because the backups in Aiden's stage are not spectacular. They're a little bit of speed reduction. But if you don't have cards in hand, it's not going to be that useful. And 5 foundations is more than enough for Pony to go off.
Especially when one of them is this Mother's Embrace. We have 2 playable while committed damage pumps that, are either going to be damaged or we're going to flip them to draw cards with things like Battle Aura Release. As soon as we see this Lethal Slash coming in, this is what we talked about. You're able to draw a card. Oh, never mind. We're getting filled with doubt. So this one's going to stay, and it's not going to let us draw a card. So
Huge.
only Pony can give us incremental advantage here, and even then, you kick out the Earthbreaker, you draw the 2 cards, it's for 5 damage, and it's stuck in the card pool. It doesn't give you that value that River did also need as if he went second.
Yeah, this is a great card to seal. When it comes to bad check attacks, I do think the introduction of Filled with Doubt is soft preparing us for better 2 checks and 1 checks. I think they've heard the outcry from the community, the UVS design team, and they've known that for a long time now, people have not found it worthwhile to play 1 and 2 check cards. It's why we might, we see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character can effectively check a 4 at worst on their own turn. And so when you see a 2 check attack that gets sealed and it's not overstatted, it's just a 3 high for 4, and all of the text is what makes it a 2 check, it is absolutely backbreaking.
Yeah, I wonder here too. So
speaking of backbreaking, we got the breaker 2 from Political Strife.
We did get the breaker. It is a half block, so we did still take the 2. River kind of put down his hand after he got Filled with Doubt, and I guess I'm wondering, like, is our hand that good? Why didn't we still Pony? We didn't use our Enhance to discard 2 cards and draw 1. It still would have given a damage because the Earthbreaker was in our card pool. We're just going to eat the breaker. We play through it with a Mother's Embrace and immediately go to play a Battle Aura release?
Yeah, their hand must have been absolutely cracked. It had to be everything we wanted because they did not choose to discard 2 cards to draw 1. And now we're going to flip a Foundation to draw 1.
It's also like, you ready? Our attack got blocked. We are sitting on one of my favorite cards in the entire game that I'm blanking on the name right now.
Split body control.
Split body control. I was at full body. We could have flipped the
moment of normalcy.
The moment of normalcy. That's the only ready Foundation on this
Not
game.
on a partial block, my friend.
Is it only completely?
I believe it's completely blocked.
I thought that was the momentum guy.
No, the momentum guy is any block.
Any block? Okay.
I could be wrong.
I don't remember. Regardless,
there's a lot of cards.
River got Filled with Doubt and then just kind of put his hand down and then stopped pressing buttons.
Their hand
down. And I don't understand, I guess, why we didn't get the extra Pony counters. Like this character.
I'm with you. So really quick, the biggest thing that you can take away from Aiden not trying to punish River here is Aiden did not give River a chance to fix their hand and get Pony counters a turn early.
Yes.
So that's like one of the only reasons why you wouldn't try to punish. But the Pony counters, the Horn counters are so important that I'm not sure what we're doing when we're not activating the Pony Enhance to generate counters, right?
Yeah, and one of the cards we built here was this.
Split body control is on a partial block.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so it was
That's
just
crazy.
Again, we got Filled with Doubted, and then we just stopped pressing buttons. And I'm not going to say it's a misplay. We still built 2 afterwards. We got our opponent down to 23. We got some resources out. From what happened at the beginning of the game, checking that 2, we feel good. But
yeah.
I do think that there's an opportunity where just because your attack is sealed, you don't give up. They have to still block it, and you had an answer to when they do block it.
Yeah, I can maybe understand that the Foundations involved were not the ones we want to flip. Maybe we want to save it for a Driven by Retribution instead.
Which messed with us in a previous game.
But I do think, what's the second Foundation? Yeah, that one right there. Okay. That's the one that gives +X or +X for each backup that you commit, or is it +X and +X?
Yes. Wait. No, it's +X or. I think it's or.
Okay.
It's an or. But yeah, you're allowed to just turn all of your backups sideways to give extra stats.
Yeah, I could see a world where Moment of Normalcy is not something that we're afraid of. While it is typically something you want to hit in most decks, Pony is not doing a lot of stat movement either way, right?
Yeah.
Usually Pony's -2 speed is just counteracting speed that was given by Hanji. So the Moment of Normalcy, probably not super threatening. Saving it for a Retribution or a Frantic Rescue or something like that, something that makes it harder to play my attacks, is probably the game plan if I had to assume.
Yeah. It was just like, I saw that we still had a Red Riot's the coolest, and it was just like, hey, you played a Filled with Doubt, you played a block, I played around your breaker, we played another move, it was a Battle Aura release that gives itself damage, you were going to give it more damage, you gave it even more damage because of the Earthbreaker in our card pool, and your opponent turns the Moment of Normalcy sideways and says it's only for 4, and we could have just said, no, that's not a possible play. It was just a little confusing, but again, I do think River is kind of coming on top right now, as Aiden has yet to throw an attack, but we know Aiden has had success just waiting until we do the Falling Titans play.
It's a low attack count for a reason.
Yeah, doing a big backswing, but these Earthbreakers are kind of eating our stage alive. Stun 2 when you only have 5 foundations is rough.
I will say this round 6 is about 8 hours into this event, and we're at the end of this round.
True.
Right? So this is a full day, pretty much, of playing cards at this point. And so the mental fatigue might be getting to us when our turn gets disrupted, right? When our plan A gets thrown out. You know, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, and that breaker could have been that punch in the face that
You get
threw
dazed.
us off.
You get dazed,
Yeah.
right? You know,
And so it can be very difficult when it comes to doing well in card game tournaments. Being lucky is not enough. Having skill is not enough. You also have to have the endurance. It's not about whether or not you can win a game of UniVersus against your opponent. It's, can you win the majority of games over 8 rounds?
and then do it again the next day in Top Cuts.
Which I never can. After the deck check, I'm cursed. I'm telling you.
Oh, really?
The deck check.
Nah, that's
I
not
lose
true.
in Top Cuts immediately. I've only won like a round of top 16 or top 8 like twice. Well, twice since the reboot.
As we go into an Electric Moth here, which is going to give us even more value once again with the Earthbreaker in the card pool. Drawing cards gets us extra damage onto our moves, and cards like Electric Moth wear damage very well because this is typically the move that you never block in Pony, and when you give it a bunch of damage, you actually have to second guess yourself, oh, maybe I might have to block this one.
This is one I like to block because it's slower.
Yeah.
And it's a high zone, and that's where all the nasty blocks are typically. But you're right, it's almost never the threatening move.
Yeah.
You know, and it's equal to things like Lethal Slash and stuff like that.
We do have the high block, though. Using this dramatic exit from Aiden's hand, we're going to get the block through. We did not use our Pony counters to get rid of the Earthbreaker, which, again, if you're thinking about the extra damage you get to your moves later, kind of makes sense. Not a bad play by River here, as now we can just kick out the other Electric Moth and still keep the damage pump from the Earthbreaker in our card pool. I like this play a lot more.
But how much damage are you going to get compared to being able to just play another attack? That resource tax, the +1 damage has to build up to equal more than another 4 difficulty move that you could have played instead, right? That equation is a difficult one to come across, and I mean, we might see a Lethal Slash after this that like puts us back down to a fresh card pool or something, or just the Earthbreaker.
Here comes the lose 3 horn counters. We're going to kick out that previous one. When we do, we can ready up our 2 Mother's Embraces that allow us to play even more attacks, even though we played this line where we did not kick out the first thing. But we are also in that awkward math of Pony's only going to get the 2 horn counters here. Eventually, when we get to like the 3rd move down the line after this, you're out. You actually won't be able to kick another card out, and we'll have 4 cards in our card pool as we go to play moves.
What one unfortunate time to not have Pony's signature move, Horn Dash Hammer, in your card
Or
pool.
American Exchange Student.
Or American Exchange.
I think that one's a little easier. It's got a low block, right? That one's like...
Yeah, but Horn Dash Hammer is the meme. It's
yeah, it is the
signature
meme,
card.
yeah. Yeah.
And here's the Lethal Slash, so we might go back to a clear card pool after this.
True, and because of the Earthbreaker being here, we will have access to give this even more damage once again from its own
Oh, no,
blitz.
we still can't clear it all the way.
We can.
Even with the
We'll get
3
the 2.
counters.
Oh, yeah, not all the way, but leaving the Earthbreaker means
Just the Earthbreaker,
we
yeah.
continue the damage pumping
On 5, yeah.
while we have the extra progressive, absolutely, which
Yeah,
I think
we can
is
end up-
fine.
If we play another Lethal Slash, we can go back to a fully clear card.
Hey, there we
We
go.
can go back to just 1 card on progressive after this at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And it looks like we do still have more attacks in hand. We saw a referee jury get thrown away, but looks like there's another one in hand too. So a little bit of defense left over, but these are the make it or break it turns. 3 blocks in the card pool for Aiden. Hanji Zoe's putting up a fight, not making it easy for River, but this Pony deck has nearly unlimited potential, given if we check well and draw cards in the correct order.
Yeah. 3 cards in the card pool, because remember, as long as we have a little bit of an excess on the horn counters, we are able... We did DR it, though. We only took 1 damage from that Lethal Slash. I'm not sure where the DR came from, but we did DR it.
Yeah, we did reduce it down to 1.
But we're on Electric Moth number 3 for the turn.
Yeah. This is definitely a draw your whole deck kind of deck.
Yeah. All these 4 diffs, like you said, run checking 5s, draw the attacks that give you more attacks, but you have to fight through. You still have a ready 9 Titan, but does it have enough stamina? I can't tell.
It's tough to tell.
Oh, we hitched. There it is. It's a hitch. We minus damage with the hitch. We found it.
I thought that's what it was, but I couldn't tell.
I honestly thought it was
wrong.
a Jaeger's follower. But instead, we're going to go ahead and take our momentum and run past turn back to Aiden with about 12 and a half minutes left in the round. This is Aiden's time to kind of do the same thing that they did previously in the match, just with the Falling Titans.
So we're going to first form flip, commit 1 rival foundation. That makes sense to me.
Like that one. Falling Titans, here it comes on a 6.
Checks a 3.
Immediately with the 3 check.
Ooh, you gotta commit a backup. Get the stats. There you go.
Get the extra stats there. 2 more speed makes this a little harder to block. Oh, and boom. River says, hey, I've got some of these of my own.
Yeah.
Filled with Doubt being a key answer against Falling Titans because you don't get to pick that one back up. Ever.
Yeah, that one is sealed. It's not going to shift. It's not going to respond. You're going to have to find the hard way to add it back to your hand. And there's no airship in play. We also do have a foundation getting sealed here.
Got readied.
Oh, ready.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was sealed.
All good. Now, the question is, again, Filled with Doubt in the card pool. Pony's pretty good at clearing those out when you have a bunch of excess horn counters. We don't have those excess horn counters, and we have just said -1 hand size to stop this very, very scary attack. That's great. It's very strong. It probably means that we save us another turn, as it looks like that's going to be the case. Checking another 3.
Kind of saved our rival, too, because they would have checked poorly again. But, you know, it's crazy. When you play these low attack count decks, it just hurts that much more when you do check poorly.
Yeah.
And it feels so unfair, right? That there's a character like Pony who can make 10 checks throughout a turn, and they might check bad on 2 of them. And you make 4 checks in a turn, and you still check bad on 2 of them.
And you check 33% of your attacks in 1 turn.
Exactly.
Actually crazy. But it's not going to shift. It's going to go to our discard pile. We did build another 9 Titans, which is more damage reduction, which gives Aiden a pretty good foot to maybe have good defense. And I don't know about you, but River has played a lot of attacks this game already. How many more are left in the deck when our deck is so small?
I mean, the lethal slash. We've got attack, and we're about to cycle.
I can only imagine, as we're counting basically right now for River, how many attacks are left in our deck, how many did we draw for turn, how many more can we play, and can it get through the defense that we, because here's another Frantic Rescue built by Aiden, not including all the other damage reduction that we saw. Oh, and we built the Armin Foundation that says minus damage. This is going to be a tough wall to break for River with only less than 10 minutes left in the round.
Yep, got the bad guy roundup coming around.
Response on play discards a momentum from your rival if they have any. They don't. But also, we have more ready foundations than our rivals, so we get to draw a card. And it's a low. Like Earthbreaker.
Like Earthbreaker.
Yeah, we have seen the double Syndicate target block for the Earthbreakers this game. Very good from Aiden to have that 0 low block that just says lose 1 life. Means you don't lose a foundation every time you block it also. Looks like the Hitch Enhance. We're going to turn that one sideways, basically nullifying this attack completely. And the question again is, do we discard cards from our hand to pony counters? Ooh, the offensive referee jury setting this attack
back to 4.
for 4. And if it deals, you draw a bonus.
That's pretty good. Your rival, when they reduce damage, they typically are telegraphing to you, hey, I'm not looking to block this. And on top of that, we are beyond the timing of the 9 Titans. So the way that we decided to sequence that was really interesting. We went for the Hitch Enhance for -5 instead of the 9 Titans response for -4, when this was only a 4 damage move to begin with.
Yeah, so we did get our cycle. We removed our 10. And then my other question, so we still haven't pony enhanced if we want to. And now that we've cycled our deck, you are now at that prime opportunity of being able to draw any of the attacks as you have shuffled back into your deck now by using these pony enhances. Feral Shriek to boot gets us a bonus draw. We are drawing from a fresh deck, and all of a sudden, River is basically very much back in this game with this offensive play that we just did.
And what's crazy about Pony is you can kick this from the card pool, and it's not even going to slow you down.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. We're gonna lose our 3 horn counters. We also have powerful on this one.
Oh, it's powerful too. You're right. Really forcing the rival to actually have a block for this one.
Yeah, now we're going to be pressing, it looks like, some minus speed from the Jaeger's followers here, which we have 4 in total, so it's -2 speed. Moving forward. So the question is now, are we going to be blocking this for a low block?
This is the biggest move that's been played this entire match.
It has, because aside from all the incremental damage pump, you're right, we reset it to 4, we dumped 3 momentum for powerful 2, 10 damage. You don't want to eat this in Frantic. Oh, but we are going to do that.
That is exactly what we're doing.
We did the -5, so that's why it got down. So we did only end up eating 3 from it, but because it dealt damage, we do get to draw our card from the referee jury that we played earlier during that enhanced step. Moving on, we have now an Earthbreaker on a 6, checking a 4.
Yeah, I think we forgot to do our card draw. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we forgot.
I think I saw it. I think I saw River draw it. Yeah, I think the judge got us
I
there.
might have been looking at the judge putting down the... which one is that? Is that check bonus? Or is that
rival difficulty.
Okay.
+1 because of the Frantic Rescue. That's why this was on. It was actually on a 7. I'm sorry.
7. Commit 2.
Oh yeah, I thought Web of Blades was a 4 check.
Oh no, that card. That card is a 4 check. I don't think anyone would play it.
I'd play it. I think it's pretty good.
It's nice. It's very.
Well, air apologist over here, not liking an air card.
Niche. I put one of in.
Yeah, it's a 1-0.
Mikasa.
Yeah, if it was a 2-4, I'd still put it in a 1-0.
I put it in Mikasa because it's a weapon.
Yeah. Oh, it is a weapon. Yeah. That's
I also
good.
played Blade Tooth in that deck though, so don't.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a weird one. All right.
+4 block mod. Come on. All right, here's the Earthbreaker. Earthbreaker not going to draw us will draw us a card. Sorry for once because we are less, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
no, I think
7.
we're tied. We're tied.
So once again, missing out on the card draw, but the stun 2, very impactful here, just for getting rid of resources over on the other side of the stage.
We saw in the last game, Aiden needed nearly exact resources.
Yes.
And depending on how things played out, it could have been exact resources.
And this one also connecting for the full 6 damage, which means we get to blow up one of these foundations that we committed during it. It looks like... Do we want the DR? Do we want the foundation that can be readied? We're going to go ahead and sack off that either or damage or stat pump by tapping our backup sideways. Lethal Slash on a 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. There it is.
Yep.
And once again, we're in this scenario now with Aiden down to 7 life. These get a lot scarier.
And this one's not going to be sealed. So it's going to leave the card pool. We can use pony counters to go back to only 1 progressive difficulty. And it's very easy to play a 4 diff even through the Frantic Rescue. Frantic Rescue was printed to slow down decks like Pony. And yet River's just going to power through because Aiden was not at full life. Aiden was not at a high enough health total, and Aiden did not have the correct block zones to defeat that big, powerful move.
It's exactly at 7. This is for lethal. It's not very fast, though. We see the resting up enhance come through. It's 0 high for 7. Do we spend any more resources to get its speed back? Horn counters exist, but you're staring across double Jaegerist follower where they do give minus stats.
This could have been, this could have been a perfect time where instead of clearing our card pool, maybe we choose the zone change.
Wow, yeah, the mix-up. Another low attack. We played Bad Guy Roundup. We played Earthbreaker, which wasn't block. We could have made this a low, and this high block right here just wouldn't have worked. But it still will remove afterwards. We could see more gas here. River on a 5-6. You actually have to tap 1 more.
You have to commit Pony.
Pony is gone, which means
no more speed pump, no more zone change. It's just a high attack versus a high block. The damage is going to be lethal, though, because our whole stage is face down.
For 4 damage. The Jaeger's followers coming in. Commit. I believe it's -2 speed. I think we have some other ones behind the hitch. -2 more speed. 0 high for 8. Do we have this high block or even a mid block? It doesn't matter. And we do, of course. It's going to pass. I can't imagine you can pass another attack as River, the +1 difficulty, finally coming in clutch and actually going to be the reason why Aiden lives this turn.
Yeah, and that was a mid block, so we're going to go down to 2, but as long as you're above 0, you get another lease at life. So that frantic rescue came in huge because River kept checking so poorly, and that's exactly what it was for. It's to stop these chain playing decks, and luck, because there was a mid block, the zone change would not have mattered, right?
Absolutely.
The zone change would not have won us the game. The card pool clear was the correct answer, but the top of our deck was not the correct check.
Just like the beginning of this game. Remember, we started this entire journey, and you talked about it as we went and got into this game, that it's about the choices that you make to dig yourself out of the hole. And even if River loses this game, as we are seeing a Beast Titan Rock Barrage hit the card pool for Aiden, you can only be proud of yourself of how you tried to dig yourself out of that hole and win this game for what happened on turn 1.
Right. You almost didn't get to play the game at all. Right?
Yeah.
And to even have a shot, to even be 1 check away, to even be 1 resource away is absolutely phenomenal. But this Beast Titans Rock Barrage, these 9 Titans in the stage already, has to make me believe that this is going to be the final turn of our semifinal match.
Absolutely. As it gets even closer. So this one's going to be 3 high for 5, or 3 mid for 5. As it gets even closer, we're also approaching 1.5 minutes left into the round. So even whatever happens, remember, technically, Aiden went second this turn, or this game. So
right.
Even
not technically.
Literally, yeah, exactly.
Technically, River went third.
yeah, you're right. But the idea being is that if Aiden doesn't end the game here, it will result in a draw. As we are on our second Beast Titan Rock Barrage, which allows us to continuously build these very strong backups from our discard pile. We've already committed all the cards on the stage. You had to commit Pony already when you played the Battle Aura, so there's just no cards here to be worried about. These are only 3 mids unless you're tapping a backup to pass it with Hanj. But the question I have to ask is, did you draw enough attacks in your 12 attack count deck?
Yeah, this is one of the few low attack decks where we're not seeing the Beast Titan attacks. The perennial ranged tutor for these life symbol, Titan backup style decks. So that was the big glaring omission for me, was the card that sits in your stage and it says, I go get a Falling Titans when I feel like it.
Absolutely. We are going to go for the first enhance here, though. We are going to double its damage.
Yeah, still not lethal, but we can present lethal with Hitch.
Yes, we can. But
Hitch is capped at +5. Correct?
Yes, correct. But also, we have to think about, you didn't tap a backup to pass the check to play it, so it's only a 3 mid.
Yeah, and I don't believe any of these backups in our stage pump stats.
And neither do our foundations. So, yeah, none of them will give plus speed, not even this backup that we... Or wait, no, we did just build the 1/5... 3 meter tall Titan or whatever that gives +2 speed.
Okay.
For a 5 mid for 10.
Almost lethal.
Almost. 1 off.
Hitch can make it lethal, right?
Do we have a referee jury in hand? Do we have a way to get out of this scenario? Do we have a 1 block check a 6 on a dream?
There are 6s. There are +1s.
There are. We are +1s. We are 6s. It can even be a partial. It just can't be unblocked. We're looking at our hand. We show the +1. Can we check a 6? We check a 6?
We did check a 6 with our 6 check. The pro hero. But we hit overtime. That's going to be a tie, Barrett. We don't have a winner.
That was a crazy 6 checks to live for a tie, which means both of these players, I think, are still definitely in the running for top cuts.
They've got 2 more rounds to go. If they win out, they should be a lock, but that was absolutely the definition of down to the wire.
3 life to 2 life all the way down to the end. I genuinely think, even again, given the circumstances of the beginning of that game 3, what a roller coaster,
Yeah.
It was just so close.
And that's, that's the drawback of the low attack count deck, right? We had 2 3-speed moves, and those were our only chances to try and cap things off right before overtime.
But with that is going to conclude round 6. We do have some small announcements as things were changing as we came back into the room. There's an update on the event. This is a 8-round tournament for Swiss as we go into top cuts. We are deciding to push round 8 to tomorrow morning because of the delay that happened from us getting out of here.
Right.
What that means is we have one more round to commentate for you all today. And round 8 cuts. So I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but you'll have one less round of UniVersus today. But we still have one left. So we're going to cut away for a very split second, reconfigure the setup after we're coming back from the break. We'll have a more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reveals.
Yeah.
And we're going to kick off the last round for today's Swiss at the Louisville Regional. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone, for the final round Swiss that we're going to show you tonight, but not the final round Swiss for the event. We are going into our round 7. There is going to be a small pause at some point in the video because of that fire alarm that we had to deal with, unfortunately, but the round is intact. The game's integrity was upheld. Before that, though, we have some reveals for you from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they're reveals that you've never seen before.
Yes.
Well, that I've never seen before.
But I don't think chat wants to see that. I think they just want to see the gameplay.
No,
right? There's no
way.
way they're here for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reveals for the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles booster set, right?
Okay, well, let's rock, paper, scissors for it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
1,
On 3
2,
or on
3,
shoot?
shoot.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, he did it anyways.
Okay, Shell Shocked is a 5 difficulty, 5 high for 5, 3 check, 2 high block, stun 2, another stun 2 Haymaker Suite. Response after you block with this card, your rival's next attack gets +2 difficulty on the good symbol. This is very similar to one we already looked at today for the evil symbol, but this one is actually like Keiko's Aid.
Yeah.
It can end the turn because it gives next attack +2 difficulty on a 5 high for 5 stun 2 move.
And it's locked to the rival's next attack, so you can't play a low difficulty foundation or potentially like an action that would remove from the card pool to play around it. This one is very interesting. This is going back to the Haymaker alignment chart. This is the Keiko's Aid Haymaker, and I very much expect to see this be a very popular attack.
It's already... Sam, most of those haymakers we talk about are 3 for 5s.
Right. This
This
one's
is
a 5 for 5.
This is basically if you're the kind of people that count stun as speed, this is a 7 for 5 and a cool block trick. This is pretty good for the good symbol.
It's another move that's telling me not to play high attacks, but this one blocks itself, so it's going to be in a pretty awkward position. You can play the Shell Shocked, but you will become victim to your rival's Shell Shocked.
True.
I like the cut of this attack's jib quite a bit. I think I'm going to be trying it out in quite a few good attuned decks.
Absolutely. And then we've got one more card for you all for today, which is Brotherly Love. It's a 1 difficulty 6 check, 2 mid block, deflect 2 ally foundation for the good symbol. And it says your abilities treat this card as an asset, which we've seen before on the Mechazoids, but this is a good symbol card. And it says response remove. After this card enters your discard pile from your hand or deck during an attack, that attack gets +1 speed.
Interesting. So very similar to a lot of the cards we saw enters the discard pile, but this time it's got to come from specific zones. It's got to be your hand or deck. We can't discard it from momentum, can't sacrifice it from the stage. So it's going to be a little more specific probably, to the turtles and their design and their kits. But I love the deflect on this. It's a 6 check. That's going to make it pretty appealing overall.
You know what I like about this card, Sam?
Ally?
Yes, and every turtle has something to do with this card in relation to their characters.
Oh, I see.
So it counts as an asset for your abilities, so you can block with this and build it with Donatello. Leonardo triggers this if you mill it because it went to your discard pile from deck. Can be picked up with Michelangelo. It has deflect on it, which is not just that, but also the block, obviously. So that's a cool synergy. And Raphael discards your whole hand, so it enters your discard pile from your hand. Every turtle has a use for this card in relation to their text on their character.
Very cool design. I love it when multiple themes come together. That's, we get to talk a little bit about retro stuff now, the KOF teams. Love me some KOF team design because the whole point of it was multiple characters getting to share from a kit because of their relations to each other. And so this is definitely like the ribbon on top. This is the bow that ties it all together. So I love this Foundation's design. I think that it being a 6 check is going to make it very, very playable. And the fact that it's really got, 3 different abilities. Like you said, it's probably going to find a home in quite a few Turtles decks.
Absolutely. Speaking of home, I would like to go home to my hotel room and sleep. So we're going to kick things off with this last round today, and we've got some deck lists to talk about real quick. Honestly, Sam, I have no idea what we're about to see. I don't even know what we've been watching.
This is the first time where we're going in blind to the deck list spotlight, but we've got Chaos Crystal Lens played by Ezra. 4 wins, 2 ties, definitely playing for their tournament life at this point because 4-1-2, 1 loss, 2 ties. I don't think is going to make day 2, or I guess now at this point top cuts.
Absolutely.
But this is a deck that we may be familiar with from the past, but it's definitely got some brand new spice. There's one of Heat Ray in this deck that is crazy.
It's definitely something that benefits from being played later, right? No, this is the one that's just like for each of the ones in your discard pile. We're playing again very similar to another attack lineup we saw earlier today. Nothing that's an attack here is lower than a 5 diff.
And you know why?
Because we're Krista, we can stack the top card of our deck.
I was going to say because it's a City Rampage deck, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
It's a City Rampage Krista deck. I don't think I've seen this in a long time, if ever. Yeah. So the City Rampage makes Titancliff and Walmaria's Might a lot more appealing. Unyielding seems a little interesting here, but because Krista can forcibly pass those checks and City Rampage is going to give us bonuses, it makes a lot of sense. You get to leverage a resource advantage.
Reset down to 4, give all my attacks stun them all out, stack a bad check on top of your deck. That seems like a pretty good way to get a win out of somebody. And of course, we see the suite of the 4 runaways, but his opponent is going to be...
Really quick, I want to talk about the Don't Do This.
Yeah.
Don't Do This is going to be the most important foundation in this deck. We saw that was the one piece Crystal was really missing. Crystal Lens did nothing in the competitive metagame until Don't Do This became popularized because, became standard legal with the lower decks, because discard a card for stun 1 is just going to generate you so many counters for so much value.
Absolutely. Fitting into the synergy for the stun as well. But first, and then against Ezra, we have Chris M from Final Round Game Shop playing Air Midoriya on the move.
You love to see it.
You love to see it because you still get to play things like Phantom Threat, but it's playing other cards you don't get access to on the other symbols on this character, like Sweeping Daggers.
And, of course, Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken.
We always talk about it.
Attack.
It's playing a larger attack count as well, but Aerial Goblin Bolt, more ways of canceling interaction if you try to deal with my Fajin Flurries and my Phantom Threats. Only playing 2 Phantom Threats, I'm very excited to see how that goes. But again, this is pretty standard of like using the new tools that Midoriya has gained access to, such as the Guardian of Chinatown that we've talked about a lot today. We're also playing Elegance and Beauty, which is just another commit for -2 speed card in this character. It looks pretty similar. Oh my gosh, we're even playing Street Hero, which is like budget.
The Mirio one?
No, it's not Mirio. I'm blanking on it. I don't know why. It's my favorite card that we lost from set 2 with blanking on her name. I don't know.
Struggling with Studies.
Struggling with Studies. Yeah, it's Struggling with Studies. But you have to play 2 blocks instead of waiting for your opponent's third attack.
It is the more based version of Struggling with Studies. Because Struggling with Studies, you used to be able to cop out on defense and just play defensive reactions.
Yeah.
But now you actually have to do some work for it. But the most important foundation in this deck is going to be Heroic Passion.
Yeah.
Heroic Passion is definitely a huge reason people have been shifting over to the air symbol for this deck. Previously, the good symbol had all the protection that you needed. And the one thing holding this Deku back, I remember this Deku was on the bubble for the Denver regional. A lot of players that were considering this deck jump ship to Rodan.
Yep.
I know quite a few players who were thinking about playing maybe like Eri Nasa, but they jump ship to good symbol Midoriya because of all of the protection for the combo that the good symbol had with Team Dr. Ichigaki and things like that. But you know what they were missing, Barrett? They were missing card draw. And Heroic Passion is a 3 diff that says when you commit this card to pay a cost, you can draw a card. And so you will look out for Midoriya not only to pay the cost for the +3 or -3 speed to draw cards passively through that, but once we flip over, you're going to see turns where we just become an 8-hander. Yeah. We just commit 2 copies of Heroic Passion, draw 2 cards, build 5.
Yeah, or your next attack comes in with 3/3, and then you do something with it, right? So it feels really good. We went for our build 4 there. Chris on the play here going first. We went for the build 4, trying to build that extra Fajin wielder. We didn't get it, so just a build 3. Moment of Normalcy, Desperate Plea, and one of those Heroic Passions has now hit the board. So +1 hand size, at least whenever we can pull off our enhance.
Yeah, and we get a nice build considering the foundations we got. It's obviously not the amount that we wanted.
Yeah.
Desperate Plea, 4 of huge in this deck. Heroic Passion, 4 of huge in this deck. In the Moment of Normalcy, the almighty equalizer, the almighty reset for any stat. Definitely something you're going to want to see. Crystal with a -4 build to return, but we've got number 23 Pro Hero, which is basically going to let you get like an extra option to review with.
Yeah, another discard out, which is exactly what our character is synergizing. I was going to say we didn't build one of those key don't do this that you just talked about, but we did, however, build one of those Pro Heroes, which means even though our opponent didn't attack us, we're going to be able to get this extra draw thing for a choice of what card we want to review.
And what's really important about that is number 23 Pro Hero is part of the kit for the lurkers because they need to review to use their character abilities. So they have to be able to draw a card before the review step if they have no cards in hand, which means Krista, who gets counters for reviewing, is going to have opportunities to do that even if the rival makes them use every card in their hand.
2 wall counters. Ooh, my bad. We're jumping into it, but Ezra's already now kicking things off with a horrifying realization.
I think we have 4 wall counters. Did we not review from turn 1?
Oh, I guess we did. You're right. My bad. So but we have this horrifying to go to 6, which means we can do a stack and still give stun to our moves.
And what's also really nice about number 23 Pro Hero is if you have at least 3 counters on your character, you're going to get +1 speed on all of your moves, which is going to combine with stun really well when the game gets to that late stage. The air symbol has some pretty nice anti-stun cards, but they're not popular. We didn't see them on the deck list. So while there is access to it, stun should be incredibly powerful against this Deku deck. But you know what else is incredibly powerful? Filled with doubt, shutting down a potential huge Wall Maria's Might.
Yeah, this Wall Maria's Might, as long as we were keeping track correctly, would have put us to 7 wall counters, which means we would have drawn 3 cards. But we said, no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to get the extra wall counter. You don't get to draw your cards. It is sealed.
I will draw a card instead with my Heroic Passion.
Also, something to keep in mind with Filled with Doubt is that it does seal the attack. For those of you at home, seal doesn't just remove all the text from the card. It can't gain any text. And Krista is a character that gives keywords. Can't do that when the attack is sealed.
Yeah, you cannot give the stun one. A mistake I've seen made multiple times. A mistake I've almost lost games in tournaments to because my rival gave their sealed attack stun 1 and I didn't catch it. Yeah. So you definitely got to stay on top of that. It can be very easy to forget, deep into an enhanced step. But we are gonna we are gonna block and build down with the Desperate Plea.
We actually used the Deku response and set it to 1, and we took 1 from it.
Oh, we took 1. I apologize.
Yeah, we pitched our Vestige card, right? Set it down to 1 at response speed, and then took the 1 from it. We're going to give the momentum away to Ezra, and then Ezra decides to build out afterwards.
Oh, okay, yeah. Midoriya is a 29 health character. I was looking at the health total.
Oh, that's fair.
It's been a very long day.
No, I agree with you. Committing the 3 cards, we're going to flip over and transform Midoriya. We're going to flip over that first wielder, which allows us to gain 2 back, and ready one of those resources we just committed, which was the Heroic Passion. When we committed those 3 to transform, we turned into an 8-hander, like you said, when we chose to turn into our backside.
Yeah, and we see Defiant Stance. That's going to be, if Heroic Passion is the most important foundation in this deck, Defiant Stance is the one that made it work.
Yeah.
Before players were playing the air symbol, when they were playing the good symbol, Defiant Stance says after you commit this card to pay a cost, you get to ready it, which effectively means it counts as 2 foundations for all of the committing that you're going to want to do with Midoriya. So that one is super, super important for getting to that critical mass, because if we want to do a one-shot, OTK, one-hit KO Phantom threat, we have to count to 32.
Yeah, it's a lot of life to get through. We don't have nearly enough foundations to get to a number like that, and we haven't done anything like a poke turn to generate momentum to do that cheeky, you play the 4 responses on the Phantom threat, and then you don't do the 5th one because you dump all your momentum for the powerful, and then you get the 5th proc, and then you draw a card, and then you give it a flash. Yada, yada, yada. You can do all of those things if you have momentum to get closer to that 32 number. But right now, the only raw stats we're getting are straight from how many times can you commit 2 foundation sideways to get closer to that number.
Yeah, and speaking of yada, 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 we immediately flashed that Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken. That would be an amazing way to commit and freeze something like a Defiant Stance so it can't be committed to pay a cost in the first place. And we are going to be able to build our block down with Desperate Plea this time.
Now, this Walk the Dog only having 2 committed foundations over on Chris's side is only going to get the -2 difficulty, being on a 6/7.
Yeah, definitely rough, but you're going to get a little bit of card draw, and this one is not going to get flashed and put down to 0 speed, so
Do you
it's
know
going to
what?
be a little more
Do you
threatening.
know what foundation we blocked with and then desperate plead down? I think it's an alt art of one of the vestige cards, but I don't know which one.
If I had to guess, it's an alt art of Defiant Stance, but it does Defiant Stance is a mid block, so
Yeah, no, it was definitely a high. I don't know. We'll figure it out when the glare goes away.
yeah,
We do have to also remember that we did
it might
end
be
up.
the fifth wielder.
Oh yeah. We did also end up building one of those costume hero
Tattered costume.
tattered costume, which means
That one I do know.
because if an action card ever gets played, we can cancel it and draw another card, which is important because we know that they're playing
Runaway.
4 copies of Runaway, which is a
Yes.
very strong answer when thinking about this Midoriya combo.
Yeah, Runaway is prohibido when the tattered costume is around. Luckily, though, Incredible Display does exist, and we do have a momentum for it. So we could see a little bit of a response battle as players kind of fight over resources. You know, I destroy my asset to make you discard a momentum and commit one is not a terrible rate. It's not what you're looking for from either of those cards, but it is doable, right? It is it is an exchange that you might need to make to win the game. So it'll be very interesting.
Get our bonus momentum because we got a momentum. Wait, no?
No, this is just enhanced flip, add a
Oh,
momentum.
the 3/6. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I was thinking the one that's for
Finally free?
Yeah. Yes. Finally awake.
Finally awake.
Finally awake. Because it's when she gets out of the crystal.
Right.
Or free. Maybe it's free. It's both. She's free. She's awake.
Armin's happy. That's all I know. But we see, speaking of happy, we've got the aerial Goblin Bolt in the card pool with a partial block. And Goblin Bolt, when it's in the card pool, can cancel a Blitz or an Enhance. And it doesn't matter if it's a character ability or not. And we also now see is this Unyielding Destruction checking a 6. Absolutely massive. This is one of the main reasons not to play Midoriya on the good symbol anymore because you need aerial Goblin Bolt to cancel exactly this blitz. But we also have the incredible display,
Yeah.
which
so
it looks like we are going to do the incredible display to force this blitz through.
Absolutely. Which is exactly what you were talking about, how this incredible display already going to be a deterrent for Chris as we try and get closer to this game plan. But this Unyielding Destruction is going to be a key piece that Ezra has access to in their deck to keep this Midoriya down in resources. And remember, we are Krista. We can technically go grab this whenever we want.
And put it on top of our deck and draw it with a different effect.
Exactly, as long as we can maintain the ways to do that. We're also just going to take the 6 straight to the face, afraid of anything else coming, but instead we're just going to build out. Dare the Midoriya to rebuild their stage and get to a better point. Don't do this.
And Midoriya is already on the transform side, so the incremental speed reduction is not available. Blocking string offense is actually easier on the front side. Now we can transform and go back to the front side for free, but to get back to our quote unquote winning side, we would have to commit 3 foundations again. So we are going to form, commit 2 foundations. We're going to draw 2 cards, amazing rate. And we can play a poke that gets +3/+3, but I have to imagine we're just going to build here.
Wow, like the fact that you can just on demand at form speed become an 8-hander makes the Heroic Passion feel very good, like you were
So
talking
good.
about.
It's such a cool deck.
I do think it's a little scary, like you said. I wonder though if there really is a world where I would have preferred going back to the other side, and maybe we make the decision at the end of our chain of playing Foundations that we still decide to go back to the other side of Midoriya to have that commit for minus speed to combat against Ezra's offense.
One of my favorite plays is to form and commit all of my Heroic Passions, then form, transform back, and when I do so, activate the Vestige Foundation that's playable while committed to gain 2 health and ready those. Now,
Love it.
granted, Heroic Passion, I believe, if I remember correctly, is only once per turn. So then
have
you
it
have
ready
to
for
wait
theirs.
till your rival's turn, right? And now you're on the side where you can commit one for -3 speed. And then if they don't attack you, that's fine. When it comes back to your turn, you're just going to commit all your Heroic Passions and transform again. So a lot of really neat stuff you can do, but it's all predicated on whether or not you're committing cards for cost.
Yeah, which luckily our character is very good at doing regardless of which side you're on. But We got some more building. We're trying to reestablish the foundations in our stage, but so is Ezra. Not drawing a bunch of attacks. And typically, for characters like Krista to work, you have to get to at least that first attack played so that you can stack your deck, grab some good stuff that you want to mess around with. But instead, looks like a build 4, hold 2 pass.
Yeah, and that incredible display is also going to be super important for preventing the Phantom threat, because the errata to Phantom threat is no longer if you've played this ability at least 5 times. It's when you play the ability for the 5th time.
Only the 5th exactly.
Yeah,
so you're allowed to cancel that one.
Right, so if you canceled the 5th time, your rival is not going to be able to flash the attack. They are not going to get to draw additional cards, which is just a really tiny wrinkle. You can keep responding for bonus speed, which is pretty good, but when your rival gets an enhanced step, things become a lot more difficult. Granted, sometimes just having a 32 speed for 32 damage move is great, even with an enhanced step.
That's what I was going to say was like, I remember seeing this at Worlds, because I think where the first time we finally saw Midoriya on the move have its greatest success is when Oceania came out in full flock and did well.
Yeah,
playing
3 different good versions.
Yeah.
Or 3 different players playing the good
version.
And
it wasn't until Kevin Broberg started knocking them out one by one after another, who eventually wins the whole event. But I remember there being a distinct moment where you play all of these resources to get your opponent to cancel the Phantom Threat important part, and you go, all right, man, we'll go to the enhanced step.
Right.
Here's a 35 for 35. Do you have an answer? And they look at their board and they're like, wow, I was so caught up in trying to cancel the flash that I don't have an answer to the raw attack.
Right. Now, I remember watching one of those matches during one of my breaks. I was walking around, like we do, getting a feel for the event. And I remember seeing a Midoriya punt a game because they activated Always Cool on their own attack, because they knew that Broberg with Hanji could do a lot of damage reduction at response speed. They could do a lot of damage reduction if it goes to the enhanced step and they cancel that ability. And the only issue was it was exact lethal. And when they destroyed Always Cool, it activated the response on Greater Goal, and they missed by 2 or 4 or something like that, because before the effect goes in, before Always Cool goes into effect, you respond to the cost, and that was how close. That's how close Kevin Broberg was from getting knocked out of Worlds before winning it all.
Absolutely. Speaking of getting knocked out, I'm going to get knocked on my feet by this double city rampage turn.
Whoa!
If there's going to be any way where you can help break through the wall of... we stayed as the backside of Midoriya.
Yes.
We do not have the repeatable -3 speed by turning our foundation sideways. And now all of Ezra's 5 difficulty moves or greater, which is everything in the deck, get +2/+2, and you're a character that gives stun, and we're playing a Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken to tap down not only a foundation, but also this asset that's really hindering us.
You got to flash this one, right, Barrett? It feels like a bait. Any attack you play first, though, is going to feel like a bait. But I feel like Vast is one where you have to flash it.
+4 to war check. It pretty easily passes. We see it happen. And then, I think we're going to just not flash it here. We're going to let it go.
Because, you know your rival's playing it because they know that you know, right?
Yeah.
But here's the issue is you're going to get your asset committed, so now actions are back on the table in case there's offensive actions. We didn't cancel any of the city rampages because the incredible display would just get to cancel it. Now, that's something you can't even fight over, right? We talked about earlier where that might be a play you have to make. Sometimes these are the plays you have to make. Destroy my asset, make you tap one, lose a momentum. Now, we not only have that momentum to prevent another response later in the turn, but we have that momentum access for things like powerful on Walk the Dog.
Absolutely. And like you said, and the thing that we chose to commit and freeze was the desperate plea, going like, hey, I need you to slow down on your foundation building.
And no surprises.
Yes.
No surprises.
I think it is interesting, though, because I've just honestly lost count of how many wall counters we have. I think it's roughly 10.
The die is impossible to read.
A 6 and a 4, I think, over here. So we just have an endless supply of these counters, no matter how many attacks we play, to stun all of the board down on Chris's side. And you still must block my moves, right? Because you are at less life than I am. You are at 20. You need to answer me.
Yeah, the combination of number 23 Pro Hero and Don't Do This is going to put a surprising amount of pressure on this Midoriya stage. The stage is huge. There's quite a few things that respond to being stunned. Ooh, and the Wall Maria's Might is an excellent way to refill this hand, to make sure Don't Do This has constant supply. And on top of that, it's going to give us another wall counter.
Putting a Fajin Flurry, I believe, on the top of Chris's deck. 3-check. Just don't want to check it. No ways to draw over here on Chris's side of the board. We've already passed the response on play speed for the Midoriya response to make something flash and draw a card. That's stuck there. If you want to check any better than that, you need to make some sort of crazy shenanigan.
Discarding the Runaway into a tattered costume makes quite a bit of sense, especially if we believe that this is the blood in the water turn. There's going to be very few turns that Krista has that are going to look better than this.
Yeah, now a stun here is going to get this ready for a rematch, which is essentially a freebie. We'll negate it by giving -1 speed in return. But the next stun that comes through, oh, we have another ready for a rematch. So I guess, do you double up on this one? Because remember, we can give stun 1 from the Don't Do This, and then also Krista gives stun 1. So the commit and freeze, the commit and asset, and stun 2, essentially. And very impactful, because it'll happen on every move.
Yeah, and you want to be generating those counters.
Yeah.
You don't want to use all of your counters because you want that +1 speed from number 23 Pro Hero. And we saw why we dealt with one of the Desperate Pleas, because we're going to chain Desperate Pleas. So a little bit of a surprise here, leaving things open for another surprise, but definitely a lot of things being committed for Midoriya here, and there's such a huge check bonus that I don't think Krista has to worry about passing checks at all.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I think, is that a horrifying realization that we just did? No, it was, sorry. It was
long range support.
Long range support, and we pitched an attack.
That's correct. We pitched a Vast Hybrid.
Yeah.
Of all attacks.
Oh. Getting a little buffering, but it's okay. As we kick things off, Wall Maria's Might, and the reason why we didn't flash the last move is because, oh, I have to flash the one that says draw 6.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one to flash as well.
Means you don't get the blitz on it. Goes to 0 speed.
Yeah, I guess our stage didn't have any singular pieces that were so important. I do like this flash more than flashing the Vast Hybrid. Flashing a Walk the Dog is probably going to feel pretty good if we saved it for that. But now you're hedging your bet, saying you just discarded an attack. I can't let you draw any more cards because you clearly have cards you don't really want to discard. But it looks like there's another Wall Maria's Might in hand. So
yeah, still got to get through this block. So the block is going to be on a 2. It passes. We use that other Desperate Plea as we've now chaining into them. Like you said, we still have the third one. Building this commit for -2 speed.
They should print more characters that build when you block.
They are. Donatello.
Like, yeah. They should print more.
Oh, okay. As
especially
we
ones
go,
where, like, you block with a foundation, maybe draw a card, build it.
Oh, okay. Which one does that in the past?
Well, it's an SNK property, so I think I can talk about it.
Is it Terrai?
It's Harry Bogart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have our second Wall Maria's Might here. It was on a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we have +4 to our check. We check it. We did it. And this one can't get flashed because that's a commit ability on Midoriya. So we're going to
no momentum.
We're going to draw a ton of cards and so many cards that we must now cycle our deck.
Which could become a liability because that means we're not going to be able to stack 6 checks on top of our deck now.
Absolutely.
Which that's normally a huge way that Krista pushes for lethal, is being able to check better than any other character by recycling the same 6 check over and over and over again.
Oh, we'll be fine. We'll use it. Don't do this. We're going to draw so many cards. We'll just put one in our discard
pile.
We'll
almost certainly draw a 6 check that we can just discard. That's true.
Absolutely.
Another reason why Don't Do This is so important to this deck.
Again, like you said, it brought this character actually on the map. Because when AOT 1 first came out, this wasn't the one. This was a cool character that people tried to make work. I remember seeing it even at that St. Louis. Was it St. Louis? No, that Atlanta regional that Kevin Broberg ended up winning with Erwin Smith. But it wasn't until those Star Trek Lower Decks came out that this character really got unlocked, and we saw Travis take down the entire North American National with that character.
Yeah, absolutely powerful stuff. Played it on 2 different symbols, right? At Nationals and at Worlds.
And got a first and second place of probably the 2 most prestigious events that Travis could go to. North American Nationals and Worlds.
Right. So this character definitely has sauce, and we're gonna see it coming up here, I believe. Midoriya's looking pretty
It's pretty
vulnerable.
vulnerable because we have yet to commit a single foundation on the side of Ezra's board because of those double city rampage really coming in and allowing this string to happen and even be playable right now. And even when you do start committing foundations, we have so many face down ones that we don't mind.
Right. Which one is this?
Rivals check -1. Was it a breaker block that we built or something?
I
don't
think
know.
it was an inspiring song.
Oh.
That's for the rival, right?
Oh, yeah. Rivals check gets -1.
We're trying to fill up that discard pile so we can get 6 checks down.
We're stacking our own 6 check on top of the deck. We've already drawn so many cards. It's no longer about getting the attacks that we need anymore. We have them. It's just about passing them.
It's crazy. That's how you know a character is powerful when they are willingly discarding vast hybrid chimera krakens
Yes.
to further fuel their offense.
It's that moment and like everything, everyone's had it. So on a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we're going to be checking a 10. So we'll tap 1 card here, which then, because this is a Titan Cliff, that 6 check that you put there or any other ones you have there, you can build one in.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
The review ability on Titan Cliff. Discard 3, draw, or discard up to 3, draw that many. That counts as discarding cards. More synergy with Krista.
Absolutely. Titan Cliff is one of the most fun attacks to play because if you have a bad hand, if you got actions you don't want to play on a 9, like another City Rampage, you can just review them away.
After you've drawn 10 cards from our Walmaria's Might. I think we actually drew like 7, but
yep. So
same
we're gonna
story.
free build a 6 check, basically undoing the 1 foundation that we built or that we committed. And then on top of that, if we want to give ourselves +1 to a check again, it would be even more painful. But I have to imagine that we're actually going to -1 our rivals check.
Yeah, as we get the extra stun, again, don't do this. Extra stun 1. Krista, extra stun 1. You only needed that minus to the check for that attack. After now, everything's unblockable.
Right.
Once the 2/2 comes in from all of these City Rampage, this is just looking like curtains. And that's what I was going to bring up. You know when you play the game and like this is that real surreal moment when you're in the middle of a tournament and you draw your hand and you see what's on your opponent's side of the stage and you like start that exciting feeling of like, oh, I have it. I have lethal, and we're watching it happen and unfold for Ezra right here. As long as you play the turn perfectly, and I think Ezra is doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, we put our rival down to 1. We've got a walk the dog coming in. It would take something truly phenomenal for the air symbol, even with all those attuned symbols, to be able to pull it out. You see the massive sigh of relief because that was a nearly 30-minute game 1. It is going to be tough for Midoriya to bounce back. And the play of the game, unyielding destruction with the incredible display to cancel the aerial goblin bolt. All the boxes were checked. All the peas were
in a pod.
Queued,
oh.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it very much goes back, I think, to I like Krista, and I really appreciate like Travis doing well and bringing it into the scene. Ezra obviously doing well in this tournament. Both of these players trying to win and are positive going into this round 7, the penultimate round of Swiss, trying to win their way through.
And they both have 2 ties already.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much in make it or break it. They can't really afford to tie again, I don't think.
But I do think something that Chris is able to take advantage of is Krista is so reliant on which foundations you find early on in the game. Like we said, that incredible display was so key. Don't do this to start the acceleration and get those extra wall counters on your character. So important. If you just don't find the right foundations in the beginning of the game, it is a lot harder for Krista to get off the ground. But like you said, unyielding destruction bought us a little bit more time to find those key pieces.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Midoriya can bounce back. I believe Chris went first for game 1 too, so that was a break serve. But we get only a 3 build here. You typically see a lot better builds from these low attack count decks, but it just seems to be. I guess this one isn't that low, actually. This one is like an 18 attack deck.
I don't even think it's about the low. And I bet you there might be more foundations in Chris's hand.
Right.
The difficulty curve for a Midoriya deck is pretty hard, right? You talked about the Defiant stances. That was back before people were playing things like on the air symbol, like Heroic Passion. We care about building this Heroic Passion, but you only get to build one 3-diff guaranteed every turn one of the game, right? So once you play a 3-diff and you play a 2-diff, you are now gambling on what happens. And if there's anything nice about these Midoriya decks is they don't play a lot of 0-diffs. They need their foundations to have important techs on them, which means you're not building a lot very quickly in the beginning of the game, unless you get lucky.
Yeah, and we're seeing a nice build out here. We've got the number 23, got that incredible display. Only thing we're really missing now is don't do this. 20 number 23 you want to see early, of course, because you accelerate through the deck. You make sure that even if your rival is attacking you, which we are seeing a little bit of a poke game from Midoriya now. So a sweeping daggers coming through, getting rid of a vast hybrid Chimera Kraken. How many times have we seen that play today?
At least once other.
It was a game-winning play too.
That's true. It was against the Delgin deck, right?
And we froze the incredible.
We're like, that one is the reason I lost.
Yeah, that one's not okay. Granted, I'm not sure how potent it's
this
gonna
early.
Be. Yeah, I don't know how much it's gonna matter because you can just play the Unyielding Destruction first, right? That was one of the crazy parts about that turn was I think Unyielding might have been the third attack played, and we blocked the second attack with a Goblin Bolt, where if you just open with Unyielding, your rival can't have a Goblin Bolt in the card pool to cancel it. So.
But we're going to get the perfect block here with that nice one mid block on a City Rampage. But one less City Rampage for Ezra to use offensively, at least in the beginning and early points of this game, which was part of the key on how we won last game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very different game, I think, but the ending might look the same, right? And you actually can see in the video that is the fire alarm going off.
Hey, there it is. Yeah, look, so we are now catching up to when the fire alarm went off. The players will probably continue to play for a little bit, but once they stop playing, Brian's going to cut over to us real quick as we fast forward and cut to another video because we did resume gameplay. So remember where we stopped. That's where we're going because it should be a little seamless almost. Ooh, the Special Forces Elite. I like the old one being brought out here, the Jackie Briggs.
Yeah, the retro version of that. And that's one, they weren't doing deadlock for a hot minute. There was very few deadlock effects, and we came out with a deadlock response, cancel any response, which
aiming characters.
Which is pretty much something we only see in these Midoriya on the move decks. I don't think I've seen any other deck put this card in their main board for sure, and almost never in any sideboards.
I think I agree with you. I think you are correct.
Yeah, it's just once you get into that flash response war, it's like the biggest deal, and we do see a sealed vast hybrid here. Yeah,
the Nonagon coming in, really valuing not having a frozen foundation, but we still get stunned because of Krista using a wall counter. But now there are 4 foundations committed on the side of Midoriya, so we can see a walk the dog here on a 4/5, and we check a 4, tap 1 foundation, and now here is a very scary looking 6 low for 6.
Yeah, and now due to the rules change, Midoriya can't commit himself for -3 speed, so this should be pretty reliable damage. This will get us a momentum for that incredible display later, draws us a card, and now we've got a little bit of damage on the board.
And we are now setting the pace. We are going to be building a pass-through walls before an asset hits the stage on the side of Chris. So that Tattered Costume that we might have been afraid of using our own action cards, we now have a response to cancel that already.
Yeah, we've got pretty much everything we wanted out of that turn, even though had to go through a Nonagon to get there. But Midoriya didn't build that much. We're outbuilding Midoriya, even though we went second. That Sweeping Dagger's turn just wasn't that impactful.
And you can't fall behind, right? Because you not only need your foundations. This is the fire alarm getting called. So going in, we should be resuming on Chris's next turn as they've drawn up to their hand. So Brian's going to cut over to us. We're going to swap video feeds. But you're right. We're getting outpaced. Krista will eat you alive if you don't have enough foundations to survive the stun that's going to be coming, not just from that. We built a Don't Do This, right, before we passed back. So we have Don't Do This live, which is a discard enabler. We already have Horrifying Realization to get even more, which means you're allowed to lead into a Wallbreaker's Might and really start destroying your opponent's stage. But we've come back. Look at that. We passed forward into the future, post-Fire Alarm.
one thing that's really important with this unyielding destruction in the deck, though, is we saw that Krista doesn't really need foundations to pass checks. If we draw multiple city rampage, that's just gonna do it as far as passing checks goes, because we have the check bonuses and Krista can stack our deck for us. But it looks like we transformed.
We transformed. We did exactly what you said. We heroic passioned and drew us a bonus card, and then because we had the first wielder, we flipped it over, gained our 2 life, went back to 24, and then got to ready the heroic passion to have it ready on the opponent's turn.
Yeah, and it looks like, did we steal a Titan Cliff? Because we just built a 6 check from our discard pile.
Absolutely. That's a good way to get our stage back into a good form.
Yeah, trying to catch up, and we're going to see some reviews going here, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, you can play Void Midoriya. You could just play Titan Cliff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might actually be worth it. I don't know. I like the air symbol a little too much, but
I mean, that character's got 5 symbols, Sam.
That's
you
true.
can pick your poison. Void doesn't get the phantom threats, but if you've been paying attention to TMNT reveals, there might be some other targets that you might like to play instead.
There are some cards that'll give you an enhanced up.
Yeah. As we continue to try and build our stage out to a more solid point, after the unyielding destruction came in as a block from Ezra, we might see a perfect match at this rate. I don't think Ezra's lost any life in this matchup.
Yeah, that's, a big part of that's the way the Deku deck plays,
Yeah.
right? It's these pokes are not the biggest deal. They're not really a part of it, although denying momentum for the powerful on Phantom Threat and, powerful you might
EX
steal
on
with
Fajin.
sweeping. Yeah, an EX on Fajin might be good enough to slow the deck down. The less health you have, the less foundations Midoriya needs to commit. The more momentum he has, the less foundations Midoriya needs to commit. So it's kind of a compounded issue. If
Yeah.
you take 5 damage, 4 damage here, that becomes a momentum. That's 2 less foundations, maybe 4 less foundations that Midoriya has to commit to actually kill you with a Phantom Threat.
But of course, we are on the backside now. We have access to flashing a move, which is very key to the survival for Chris. But the question now is what we already talked about. Is 7 readied foundations enough to survive the onslaught that we might see from Ezra? As we start pressing these horrifying realizations, setting up more wall counters. We're now at 8. We could press the other one, go to 10, and that means a snap Walmaria's Might draws us 5 cards.
Yeah, we are going to unfortunately have to discard a foundation, electing to keep the sweeping dagger. So we discard a +1 mid-block attack. That was Fajin Flurry. And now we're going to keep a +1 mid-block attack, which is sweeping daggers. And we're going to commit a foundation instead.
I have a question for you as Ezra decides what's going on here. When Vast Hybrid rotates next year, what are we going to say is the best attack in the game? Is it just sweeping daggers?
Whatever card commits and whatever attack commits and freezes the card.
Oh, there's one in the Street Fighter deck. There's the Water Attune one that says Drive 1, commit and freeze the foundation.
It's just a much more fair.
It just doesn't have, instead of having the asset thing, it's a low attack and it has a keyword ability. I think it has EX or powerful on it. So, I mean.
It might be that one.
It might be that one.
Drive is like, I commit one, you commit one. So it's a little bit more fair. But yeah, I could see if that just becomes, the perennial 2-turn solution, that could be it.
As we keep going, we're going into this. We led off with the Mega Burst, right? The 1x copy of the Mega Burst, and this one is very important because it has scaling. No, it gets to the 2/2, and then if it hits, you have the selective flip, right?
Mega Burst is the stun one.
Sorry, Heat Ray.
This is the 6 diff, 7 low for 6, and if it deals damage, you get to target flip 2 rival foundations, and it gets really big for all the 5+ difficulties in your discard pile, which includes City Rampage.
Exactly. So we're able to scale this up, give this even more stats. Chris is, of course, going to be able to commit 2 cards, gaining stun both times with Don't Do This, and the wall counters that we've already gained and used. And we're going to be able to really start committing a lot of pain onto this stage for Chris. Again, we only had 7 Ready's foundations going into this. We still have access to the flash response on Midoriya, but we are slowly and very surely losing our access to our foundations that are ready.
Yeah, it looks like we're discarding a card to Don't Do This, an Inspiring Song, which is a really powerful foundation. So this probably is going to be a really aggressive turn. Without the City Rampage in front, though, I don't think we're going to be able to do 24, but we're definitely trying to push some resources out of our Midoriya opponent's hand.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we're getting stunned here. They're ready for a rematch to give them -1 speed, basically nullifying that minus. But we are already down to 3 foundations remaining. We give the extra speed because of the pro hero. We have that extra balance. This is a lot of speed for a lot of damage. It's still a 5 low for 6. And we do have a low block, but it's going to be like on a 7, right? Checks the 5. Still having access to that speed hate card. Full block this one. So you're right. Can we count to 24? Basically only having to deal with a flash response. Walk the dog on a 5. Checks a 3.
Walk the dog's a great way to get there. Checking 3 is not.
Yeah. And even if you flash this one, you definitely still want to block it because it is still 6 base damage.
Right. So we are going to put this one to 0 speed. We're going to draw a card. Draw a high block.
Low.
So we have high block, mid block, and mid block.
So we reduced its speed to 0 and then didn't block the move because we didn't have the full block. And then, of course, here comes another low attack. Wall Maria's Might on a 7. Checks a 5. It's getting really scary.
Yikes. We kind of tipped our hand that we don't have a low block if we didn't even choose to partial, right? We didn't even elect to partial a 6 damage move. I don't know about that choice, Barrett.
Yeah,
we don't have any other speed reduction. The likelihood.
Well, we have this guy. This guy gives minus speed.
Does he?
It gives minus speed to card pools, right?
Oh, I mean, not if he gets stunned out.
You can use it first.
Yeah, well, Navi played another walk the dog.
Oh, true. That's right.
This was a risky gamble. This
Yeah.
was a pretty risky gambit to not partial block at least and to believe that we would get to use our speed reduction before it gets stunned out by the stun deck.
Yeah.
By the stun deck, Barrett.
I know.
It's doing its thing, Barrett.
I know. We could have pressed it, though. We just didn't press it. Anyway, so we got
We
it
are
stunned.
in danger.
We are asking Ezra count to 18. This one is for 5. Here's a good check, but it's still pretty unblockable. But I'm going to make sure that if you don't play blocks, you're going to draw absolutely nothing next turn.
Stone cold.
That's the cool duality of this character. As we take the 5 from the Wall Maria's Might, we need a 13 damage move.
That was always the funny play with specialized sound waves was when your opponent stacks 2 foundations, you know you're screwed.
All right. Okay, on a 4, 5, 6, 7, checking a 6 there means we only have to commit to 1 foundation. Again, another base 6 low for 6. It could have been the Walk the Dog. But here it is now. As we are going to stack even more stuff, do we need another attack or do we just need to guarantee our check?
I mean, Walk the Dog draws it if we need an attack. Krista stacks it, stacks the check if we need the check.
We have to count to 13. We do have a momentum for powerful. One more walk.
2 cards.
One more Walk the Dog wins the game, right? We have enough for powerful on one of them. As long as we can
Looks
guarantee
like we
the
drew
check.
another attack, but I don't know.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, we've got the counters, right?
Yeah, we need a 4 damage move.
Or no, did we go from? Yeah, we have 2 dice. We have enough counters.
We need a 4 damage move regardless. So
and we're gonna put the 6 on
stacking
top.
the 6 is
We're
going.
just going through the motions here.
Puts another do nothing card on top of Chris's deck. Do we press the powerful button? If we don't, we might. Oh, never mind. We did put the 3 check on top this time. Spend the powerful 3. This is starting to look very close to the end of the game. All it takes is checking this 6 off the top. Going down to 4 for Chris. Plays another
See
Wall.
the nervousness.
The other Wall Maria's Might. Tapping completely out. The handshake extended. Ezra takes the 2-0 versus Chris.
Yeah, he just had the answer for this deck. I mean, he got out ahead of it. Had the unyielding when he was behind it. Really, it felt like Chris had a really clunky turn too. Played the sweeping. I think we only built 1, maybe 2 foundations. I can't quite remember, but it was not a build twice. It was not a big stage Midoriya. And Midoriya needs a big stage to operate. Unyielding Destruction prevents you from having that big stage. But congratulations to Ezra. Good luck in the final round because we still have round 8 tomorrow morning.
It's 5-0-2. So again, very good score line to go through, but we have, like you said, 1 more round 8 of Swiss to be played, and then we will announce our top cuts, and we'll start diving in immediately. So we're, of course, going to head out for the night. Get some sleep. You all should as well.
Pretty late.
I need to go check if my room didn't catch on fire. You should all as well if you're at the event.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. What if there was a fire somewhere else and they just contained it?
But regardless, it was an absolute blast commentating these 7 rounds of UniVersus with you and Tam and Brian here on production. I think it was such a great time. Chat, I hope you had a great time. And we're going to be back tomorrow to bring the final conclusion, the excitement for the Louisville regional. And guess what? We're going to have some new graphics for you tomorrow as well. So make sure you show up and have a good time. I'm Barrett Bryant, joined by Sam Tate. Thanks for joining us for day 1 of Kentucky. We'll see you all tomorrow.